Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, HaShem Yahushua, for giving us His truth. Double honor to all the elders teaching on the four corners of the earth, teaching in truth and sincerity to you. I say shalom. Brother Khan from the set of the Lions of Judah, just around here in Chicago to you. I say shalom. Coming at y'all with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua. Coming at y'all with another video. The title of this video is going to be titled, The Egyptians and the Israelites Were So-Called Black People. Starting off in this book, Nation Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, page 123. And starting at Strabo. And it reads, Strabo 30 BC says, the people of Western Judea were of part Egyptian ancestry, but he says although the inhabitants are mixed up, thus the most prevalent of the accredited reports in regard to the temple at Jerusalem represents the ancestors of the present Judeans, as they are called Egyptians. Tacitus of about 90 AD says many assert that the Jews are an Ethiopian race. For Romans to have taken them for Ethiopians is clear indication of their color, since the Ethiopians were definitely black to the Romans, man. So they was mistaking us for being Ethiopian and Egyptians. So let's see if the Bible agree with history. All right, it's the book of Acts chapter 21, verse 37, dealing with Paul. And as Paul was to be led into the council, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek? Verse 38, are not thou that Egyptian which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? Verse 39, but Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, a citizen of no means city. All right. So Paul said he was a Jew, even though he was being mistaken for an Egyptian. Okay, so he was an Israelite. So Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. So now let's go to the book of Exodus, dealing with Moses. All right, because Moses was mistaken for being an Egyptian, even though he was an Israelite as well. All right, so what are we doing? We're showing through the spirit of Yahweh Yahushua that the Egyptians and the Israelites, they look similar in color. And never mind what the scholars say, because they're not going to tell the whole truth. So it's the job of the prophets, like Yahweh Yahushua, to do that. They're not going to tell you the full truth, because it's going to open up a can of worms on who is God's chosen people. All right, this is the book of Exodus chapter 2, verse 17. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them water their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that you are come so soon today? Verse 19. And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. So this is Moses. Moses was mistaken for being an Egyptian, okay, because he was the one who helped them water the flock, okay? And once again, they call Moses what? An Egyptian, okay? So the Israelites were mistaken for Egyptians when you read the Bible, all right? So now let's go to the book of Amos, dealing with being called Ethiopian. Go to the book of Amos chapter 9, verse 7. All right, this is the book of Amos chapter 9, verse 7. And it reads, are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel? Saith the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt? Okay, so the Most High is comparing his people to who? In color, he's comparing them to the Ethiopians, man. So this history right here in this book, Nation Knows No Color Line, is actually on point, because the Israelites, they were mistaken for being Ethiopian and Egyptians. All right. It's the book of Psalms 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, for they shall wisely consider his doings. So the Most High is doing all this. He's bringing all these things up to wake our people up, man, to get us up out of this damn captivity. All right. So it's the Heavenly Father's will that his people wake up, and he's going to do anything and everything in his power, you know, to wake our people up, because the rulers of this world, all right, are wicked, and their end is about to come. All right. As you know, we are living in the last days, and all these things are going to be, all right, it's going to be fulfilled. All right. The truth is going to come out. All right. We living in the time of the truth. All right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11, Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So the Most High made a difference between us. Although we are two dark-skinned people, all right, the Egyptians and the Israelites. So it's definitely a difference between us and them. This is on the Van Bible Dictionary. I'm gonna go to page 213, and it reads, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So the Negroes does not come from Ham, although they are dark-skinned like the Hamites. All right, they actually come from the lineage of Shem. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 23. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. All right, what's the land of Ham? The land of the Hamites. All right, so now going into this book, understanding the Bible through history and archaeology. So this is an illustration of the Israelites, man. All right. It says, a new king arose in Egypt who did not know Joseph. And they, the Egyptians, set taskmasters over them, the Hebrews, to oppress them with forced labor. Okay. So this is the Israelites, man. This is our ancestors, man. All right. As you see, is an Egyptian right here. And I did this video about 3 or 4 times, but YouTube keep taking down the content. All right, so going back to this book, Understanding the Bible Through History and Archaeology by Harry M. Orlinsky. Now we're going to deal with what Yahushua said, because Yahushua gave prophecy on 70 AD and the destruction of the temple at that time period. This is the book of Luke chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Let not them that are in the country enter thereunto. Verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things rich are written may be fulfilled. All right, so what did Yahushua say? He says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. All right, and we're going to read about that. We're going to read about that in the book From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. page 84. And it reads, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrage and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it had been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Now they put Jewish, but it should be Israelites. All right. Okay, so with that, I hope this video was edifying through the spirit, power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. With that, Shalom.